What happens when you land in a place you know almost nothing about? For us, it was Tbilisi, Georgia's capital city, where crumbling balconies lean towards sleek glass towers, where history hums through every street, and where the streets are guarded by an army of dogs. This wasn't the trip we planned.
When we had to make a last-minute decision to cancel our Egypt and Morocco trip, we looked at the map and decided, you know what? Yeah, Tbilisi is gonna be it.
Through winding alleys, past curious dogs, and unexpected gardens, we found food that made our mouths water and streets full of surprises. Tbilisi wasn't on our radar, but by the end, it could be on yours. Tbilisi pulls you in quickly. Cable cars sweep over the river, winding alleys twist up towards the fortress, and markets spill into the streets. This is Georgia's largest city, home to 1.2 million people, nearly a third of the country. For centuries, it's been a crossroads between Europe and Asia, a key stop on the ancient Silk Road. You see history everywhere. Golden church domes rise across the skyline, and the Narikala fortress keeps watch from above. But Tbilisi isn't frozen in time. The streets buzz with cafes and wine bars, while the Mitvari River cuts through the city like a thread stitching old and new together. The past feels alive here, not as a relic, but as a rhythm that keeps pulling you forward, always towards the next corner.
We arrived yesterday to Georgia, which is a brand new country for us. This one was not on our radar whatsoever this year. And right off the bat, I have to say, we both just had a really good feeling about Tbilisi. We were both really happy to be there. We arrived, it was a beautiful spring day, blue skies, flowers blooming. It was a Saturday, so the town was alive. So we set out to do a bit of exploring. It had been a while since we had a night out on the town, so I think we were both feeling really good about where we were. The sun was shining, it was nice and warm, so we popped into some of the pubs here to have a few drinks. The first place we went to was the Irish pub. We do tend to visit these on occasion, just when you're looking for conversation from others. When we went in there wasn't anybody else, so we just had one drink and then headed out. Our next stop was the British bar. This apparently is on its third iteration now, so it's quite a big space. I would recommend it. Again, we were there quite early in the day, so not too many others to chat with. We met a local, well, he wasn't local, but he's a transplant from Ireland, so it was kind of good to connect with somebody who stays here now. And then we ended our night at a bar called the Drunk Owl, so it's kind of funny to be sitting in a bar in Georgia where they had just a wall full of Jägermeister and a cat sleeping on the couch and, you know, listening to Linkin Park, so that was pretty funny. We booked ourselves into a hotel in the Old Town area so that we could be right into the thick of things. The hotels are quite affordable, so we were able to book a nice, simple hotel room that included breakfast for around $60 a night.
Following the river through the heart of the city, you quickly stumble upon Tbilisi's quirkiest corners, each one more surprising than the last. Just across the river, the dry bridge comes alive with one of the city's most colorful markets. Stalls overflow with Soviet-era memorabilia, hand-painted art, and unexpected treasures that feel like tiny windows into Georgia's past. Wandering through, it's easy to lose track of time. A short walk along the river brings you to Reich Park, a modern green space with wide paths, fountains, and a giant balloon sculpture that seems to float above the city. In fact, it does float. Something I didn't realize until the last day. It's a perfect spot to pause, watch the water, and take in the city's mix of old and new. Then the skyline pulls your gaze upwards to the golden dome of Sameba Cathedral. Georgia's largest church. Sitting high on a hill, it's a modern landmark with centuries of Orthodox tradition woven into its design. From its base, the view stretches across Tbilisi, offering a sense of the city's scale and its layered history.
It's very easy to explore Tbilisi by foot. There's loads of walkable sidewalks. There is the river that has the path, and that goes all through town. So one of the best things to do when you get here is just get out, choose a direction to walk in, and start to explore. There are loads of little parks sprinkled all throughout the city, so you can walk down the tree-lined avenues and enjoy being under the leafy greens. You can walk along the river or just pop in and enjoy some of the local gardens here.
One thing I didn't expect to love was the food. It's hearty and comforting. Plates piled high with grilled meats and potatoes, dumplings sealed like little pouches you bite into carefully, and pastries stuffed with spiced beans. Even desserts are a delight here. You'll find windows filled with sweets that make it impossible to just walk past. Georgian food feels both familiar and totally new, and dining quickly became a highlight of our time here. Another unexpected thing, all of the street dogs. They wander through the street like they own it, lounging in parks, trotting across bridges, even curling up outside cafes. But these aren't the scrappy strays you might picture. They're hardy, well-fed, and surprisingly calm. Locals look out for them, leaving food and water, and even making sure they're vaccinated and tagged. We never had a single problem with them, and for anyone nervous around dogs, it's more like sharing the city with a pack of very laid-back neighbors. And the surprises don't stop on the streets. High above the city stands the Mother of Georgia, a statue raised to mark Tbilisi's 1500th anniversary. In one hand, she holds a bowl of wine for friends, and in the other, a sword for enemies. You can glide up in a gondola, but we chose the more laborious climb on foot. From the top, the views stretch across the whole city, and just behind the ridge, the botanical garden opens up as another unexpected escape.
One very affordable activity you can do is to walk through the botanical garden. We're here today. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's just over $1 for each adult, and wow, so lovely. For me, Georgia's been really wonderful. I'm so glad this is really our last stop here in Europe as we start to wind down on our year-long adventure. This is our last new country that we'll be stopping at this year. Wow, what a beautiful place. There are loads of day trips that you can do or places you can explore once you've spent your time in Tbilisi. I could definitely see this being a place we come back to so that we're able to get to the mountains, check out the beaches, and really just research more about the area in general.
Tbilisi reminded us that the best experiences often come when you least expect them. When you slow down, follow curiosity, and let a city show you its rhythms, even the smallest streets and quiet gardens can leave a mark. Maybe it's a reminder to let the unexpected in, because that's often where the most memorable moments are waiting.